church safety stuff, I would say that it kind of depends. You can usually get a vibe from somebody, right? And so if they're just like, they're new to church and they're nervous and they want to fix, then I'm not going to like blade off and have my hands here like, how can I help welcome you to church today, sir? I'm not going to do that, right? Right. And they're like, dude, this place is weird. I want out of here, But yeah, if I do get a weird vibe with somebody, and maybe it's not like an obvious, like all of a sudden I take my step back. Maybe it's just, oh, hey, how can I talk to you? And as I take a step to my left, I'm naturally bladed, right? So that's a way you can kind of hide it where you're not just, oh, here I am now, but it's kind of, how you doing, sir? What's going on? And as I take a little step this way to talk to you, I'm already bladed off where if I need to, I can bang, If I'm standing up too tall, right, and I'm not crouching at all, so go ahead and push on me from the front, John. I'm gonna go, right? But if I'm crouched a little bit, go ahead. I might have to take a step, but I'm more balanced. We talked about a reactionary gap, where basically a reactionary gap is where, like if Rod's hands are kind of down, if I start to throw a punch from here, there's almost no way, because your brain has to recognize what's coming first and then decide to react. There's almost no way he can stop that punch. So I'm inside his reactionary gap. And usually, even counting kicks, I can kick him from this distance where I can't even hit him. So that would be like, I wouldn't want anybody who I was scared of or like alarm bells were going off, definitely nowhere closer than this distance. And ideally, I want them more like this distance, right?
Can you stop right there?
Right. So that's what my goal is, to get enough in here where I can keep a fist from coming through, but I can still see what's coming. Does that make sense? Awesome. Coming right at your chin. So you're going to want to throw it here and keep those nice and tight where boom, right? Make sense? Yeah. If I've got this and John throws a lead hook, right? He can come around and catch me in the jaw, right? So if they're throwing a hook punch at us, right? That's where, instead of just the high guard, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the back of my skull with this and pull this up, this part of the bone of my arm to protect my chin. Does that make sense? So go ahead and throw the hook at me, buddy, and I'm here, and that blocks that. Nice, good. So a lot of people, it's normal to look in the eyes. That's how we always interact with everybody. But that's not going to give me the most information about what's coming from their body, right? So yeah, like if I drew a triangle from my head to my shoulders, the bottom part of that triangle, if I kind of look centered up about here, is about where I want to focus my vision when I'm looking at the person. So like if you're boxing me or whatever, if I start to come here, you're going to see that quicker by looking here than you are in my eyes, right? So that's kind of where we soft focus, is in the middle, and then we let our peripheral vision pick up the strikes. Okay, so you can kind of see if I'm throwing a jab at you right there, then you can start to recognize that quick so that you can protect, right? And then it looks different than if I start to open up to throw that hook. You can read that and start to protect from the hook. Does that make sense? Same thing if I'm throwing my cross at you, boom, a straight punch, you can protect, right? Where if I open up for this hook, you're going to read that so you can protect. You can turn defense into offense. So like if you're going to throw a jab at me, I can get in close and like kind of make you, or if you throw a hook at me, right, I can kind of boom, I can kind of knock him back too. If you're doing church safety versus just self-defense, you're just out in the street and your family's with you, you need to just make sure your family is and you are safe, right? You're not trying to you're not a police officer where you're going to go detain the person and, arrest them, right? You just got to get out of the danger, right? So that's basic self-defense, is just get out of the danger any way you can, right? Right, is just get out of there, right? And stay as safe as you can and then get a chance to break contact and escape. But if you're doing church safety, right, like your job is to protect everyone else from this potential danger, right? So you kind of have to go control that danger, right? That's kind of, if you can break contact and we can de-escalate, that's always our first choice. It's like Romans 12:18, it says, if it's possible, as much as it depends on you, be at peace with all men, right? That's our goal, that's what we want to do. But there are going to be situations where you don't have that option and, violence is kind of being forced upon you or someone else and you have to control it. And you can protect yourself against that sucker punch where at least I stay conscious and I stay standing. So let's try it again. So I don't know which hand you're going to throw. I'm here, right? And I come to this. Does that make sense? So I'm getting that up high, and I'm changing my level a little bit. That's going to take some of the heat off that punch, okay? So the most common punch that we see, in street fights or bar fights or whatever, is if they're right-handed, is usually like a big cowboy punch where it's coming like this, right? And if you don't block that thing, it's gonna knock you into next week, right? The good news is, it's usually pretty sloppy, right? It's not like a trained fighter where it's a really tight hook, sorry about that here. But it's a big old looping punch, and that's usually how an untrained fighter will throw a really hard punch, is like that. So if you can go ahead and protect yourself and get a little bit lower as I throw in, John, go ahead and get both hands up and crouch, ready? So I'm throwing this, now I'm not knocking him out, right? Now, it didn't end the fight or anything, and we're not, we don't have him in custody or something, but at least it lets us survive that initial attack. That's the whole point of that. If you're already here, sensing that something might not be safe, you can real quick get to there and hopefully not get knocked out. You're throwing the big thing at me, right? And I'm coming here, and maybe he throws another punch, and I take that, and then boom, 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 I counter, bah, whatever, and I attack, right? That could be, something I would do if I was having to just stop this guy. But if I'm in church, I don't teach that because it's going to look pretty bad, for
it's on camera,
right, for your church and right, and your jury. If I'm striking this guy, right? But maybe I have to. Maybe that's my training and that's all I know. But I usually try to teach more of a like a Greco-Roman, more of a wrestling approach for a church safety team, where you can start to control the guy without having to strike him and beat him up, and then your other members can help you. So what that might look like with John, and we'll go slow. So I'm here, and he throws this at me, right? And he maybe throws again, and I start to come here and take his back, and I start to control him, and then I can put him on the ground and have people just help him, right? So I never had to hit him, and it's safer for him, right? And it's safer for the church not getting sued, things like that. So he throws it, boom, boom. Maybe I counter, and then I get my grappling, right? But you can combine it, you can mix it up. You don't have to never strike somebody because maybe that's the right thing to do at the time. But I can teach you some of those techniques in the future.
Hey sir, how you doing? How you doing today? Hey, I just need to see what's in your
Yeah, see now, I couldn't get mine loose.
Right. Look at me too. I was
Tie it up.
my shirt.
Yeah.
How you doing, sir? I just wanted to ask you a few questions about what usually we don't wear a trench coat. Just wondering.
Sir, we need you to stop. We need you to stop. Stop.
Why do you need to stop?
Because we need to talk to you, and we need you to stay here until we know you're good. Okay? Yeah, come on. Stay with me. No, you're not going to come. You're not going to come
I
here.
need you to turn around.
Come on.
And be.
Bam, bam, bam.
Good job. Cool. Nice.